On my way over here, I saw something I'd never seen before. I saw this dude walking with his girlfriend, presumably, and he's walking and he just stops and turns and grabs her with both hands. And in the other direction, he turns his face and he just sneezes, achoo! As though he was like, oh babe, this one's real bad, it's about to blow me away, be my anchor! It's not exactly be my Valentine. Real thing. So, I'm Andrew. I identify as male, straight, and popular. Of those three traits, I feel like I'm really convincing about one of them. I'll give you an example, like a story that happened to me. I was out partying, and I was just like on the streets. I was in Lisbon, and just in the middle of the street, I met this girl, and we started talking, and she was like, well, come dancing with me and my friends. We're going to a drag show. And I was like, that sounds really cool. And we get to the drag show, and the drag performers were really good. So I was like, got really into it, and I was dancing, and I was getting along with this girl, and we were making out, and we were dancing. I thought everything was great. And then she just stops, and she turns to me, and she's like, wait, are you straight? You're enjoying this too much. And at that point, I was thinking, wow, being a straight guy doesn't seem like very much fun. But also, I'm thinking like, lady, it's 2018. It doesn't matter if you're straight or queer. All that matters is that you follow me on Instagram. I'm a millennial. We have different values. A little bit more about me, because you guys asked. No one spoke up, but you asked with your eyes. Thanks for asking. A thing that happened to me a few times recently, like, people have said to me that, Andrew, you're unrelatable. Which I find to be a direct attack on my identity as a popular person. But as it turns out, it's also hard as a comedian to be unrelatable. So to answer this, I started writing some jokes about sex, because we all relate to sex, because we all either have it or are a product of it. I read that on Wikipedia. But then, like, I was doing my sex jokes, and then my audiences, they didn't find it believable that my favorite sex thing is stopping in the middle for 2 hours to talk about poetry. I mean, it's just like, I can only pound to the lyrical verses of Ezra Pound! And also, like, I can't come unless I've heard a close reading of Gertrude Stein. I'm not just really cool and sexy, like, I'm also very spiritual. I don't believe in God or anything, but I do believe in the power of nature. Like, my favorite nature thing is when the sun and the moon can be seen in the sky at the same time, because, like, if those two can set aside their differences, anything is possible! But, so I kind of feel like you can ask nature for guidance and to answer questions. So, I keep turning to nature with, like, the things I'm curious about. So, like, I keep asking nature, like, how is Iggy Pop still alive? Right? A lot of drugs. I live in Berlin now, so, like, I ask nature, like, should I wear my black Converse or my black Nikes? I asked nature, how's the Cuban Berghain? And I asked nature, like, is that guy in my email box really a Nigerian prince? I have a question for you guys. Is anyone here racist? It's okay, it's a safe space. We can admit this. Okay, no one's willing to admit it, but I will fess up and say that I'm a little racist. The people that really know me well, they think it's really fucked up that I draw a distinction between mudbloods and fans of the band Oasis. Like it's the thing is, it's like I'm a bit like my fellow American Donald Trump, except I want to build a wall between me and anyone that can't sing along to Wonderwall. And you know, if you aren't down with that, fuck off, but don't look back in anger. No, it's like racism is a really serious thing, obviously, and I'm from the United States, and like, you guys know who's in charge there, and like, things, like bad shit happens in the United States right now, and he's like, oh, like really racist stuff, and he's like, oh, there's bad people on both sides, and it's kind of like setting back all this like societal progress, and also saying it's like, you know, Malcolm X, he didn't have a permit to do things by any means necessary. People say that German audiences don't get like jokes about American racism, but really it's like, come on guys, like you guys have seen Get Out, like it's a documentary, that's all you need to know. But it's like Malcolm X, no permit. Harriet Tubman, she saved a lot of people on the Underground Railroad, but she jumped the turnstiles. Martin Luther King had a dream, but no one ever talks about how bad his snoring was. And like, I talk a lot of shit about the United States, but I hear that it's still really nice if you're anywhere from wealthy to ultra wealthy. But like this stuff like drifts back into like my personal life, because I'm a mixed race person, and like being mixed race, it's like always being the only white person at a rap show, but also always being the only black person at an improv comedy show. And like the thing is, I get all kinds of weird expectations from people, and like about how I fit in or don't, and like not fitting in is my thing. It's like it was my favorite childhood game. But like I was walking around Brooklyn, and this guy just like looked at me, and he was just sitting on a stoop. He didn't know anything about me, and all I could do is hear the sound of my voice. And from the sound of my voice, he was like, "Yo, why are you talking like that? Why are you trying to act white?" And I was like, "Excuse me, sir, I don't like your attitude. I'm trying to act Jewish." But that was before I moved to Germany. I had to cut that shit out real fast.